Let's have a look at this Jordan Peterson video about men who are trapped in childhood. This applies to dog culture because dog owners are trapped in permanent adolescence. Dogs are permanently adolescent. So I fast forwarded the video a little bit to this part about who the hell wants to be king of the Lost Boys. Well, that's kind of what Peter Pan does. He's king of the Lost Boys. He's king of a bunch of permanently adolescent people.
And he also sacrifices the possibility to have a real relationship with a woman, because that's Wendy, right? And she's kind of conservative, middle class, London dwelling girl. She wants to grow up and have kids and have a life. She accepts her mortality. She accepts her maturity.
That's like dog owners. They don't want to meet a man or a woman because owning a dog is easier. And same thing with Peter Pan. He just wants to stick around with the Lost Boys, a bunch of kids that may or may not have some sort of potential, but at least he doesn't have to, accept his place in life.
Peter Pan has to content himself with Tinkerbell. She does.
Yeah, Tinkerbell. She doesn't even exist. That's like getting a dog. Oh, I'm going to replace a dog. That's going to be the same as my husband or wife as kids. People are constantly replacing human relationships with this fake kind of super advertised kind of thing of dogs.
She doesn't even exist. She's like the fairy of porn. She doesn't exist. She's the substitute for the real thing.
Yeah, dogs are the substitute for the real thing. Like a proper human child or boyfriend, girlfriend, lover, if you develop a proper relationship with them, there's a good chance that 10, 20 years down the road, they're going to be there for you. They might be able to help you out with something, loan you money, help you when you get dementia. But dogs cannot do that, and dogs are the substitute for the real thing.
And so, but the dichotomy that you're talking about is very tricky because there's a sacrificial element in maturation, right? You have to sacrifice the pluripotentiality of childhood for the actuality of a frame. And the question is, well, why would you do that? Well, one reason is it happens to you whether you do it or not. You can either choose your damn limitation, or you can let it take you unaware when you're 30, or even worse, when you're 40. And then that is not a happy day. And I see people like this, and I think it's more and more common in our culture because people can put off maturity without suffering an immediate penalty.
That's like dog ownership. You can put off maturity. If you just get a dog, the dog will never mature. You can constantly be talking about, oh, I need to train it, socialize it, do this for it, do that for it. But you'll have constant dog ownership, more dogs, 10, 20 years down the road. You're still saying the same thing. Oh, I just got to do this for the dog, do that for the dog. You dumped all this money into training, all this money into trying to create something out of the dog, but it never happens. So you can just sit there idle while you own dogs.
But all that happens is the penalty accrues, and then when it finally hits, it just wallops you, because when you're 25, you could...
Yeah, the penalty accrues. People get dogs, like millennials get dogs way more than kids. And they think, well, it's cheaper, just get a dog. But veterinary bills, care credit, high interest veterinary credit cards, all of the extra food, all the stuff that you have to buy for your dog, all of the decision making that you have to change when you own a dog, it accrues. And when you look at it, you've paid millions and millions of dollars into a dog in our society. And then what do you have? Nothing.
Be an idiot. It's no problem. Even when you're out in a job search, it's like, well, you don't have any experience and you're kind of clueless. It's, yeah, you're young. It's no problem. That's what young people are like, but they're full of potential. Okay, well, now you're the same person at 30. It's like people aren't so thrilled about you at that point. It's like, what the hell have you been doing for the last 10 years?
Collecting dogs. I got a dog. I got a rescue dog. Well, I got another corgi dog because I didn't want my daughter to be sad because she asked me for one. And then my friends got Alzheimer's, so I adopted their dogs. My buddy that I work with at Walmart, his wife got sick, so I adopted their dog. So now, yeah, same thing. You're older, and you just got a bunch of more dogs.
Well, I'm just as clueless as I was when I was 22. Yeah, but you're not 22. You're an old infant, right? And that's an ugly thing, an old infant.
Yeah, talking about old infants, dog owners will be like in their 50s and 60s and they'll have a 10-year-old pit bull and they'll call that dog their son, their boy. The thing is dripping pus out of its fucking back end, slobber out of its front end, crusty crap all over it. The dog should have been put down like 2 or 3 years ago, but they're still calling it boy or son, even though it's suffering and sick and full of cancer and other things. And it's like he says, it's an ugly old infant. People calling their dogs son and baby when they're a few months old. I mean, that kind of sounds relatable. But then the dog will become freaking 10 years old, be fat, obese, useless in the house, sucking up tons of veterinarian bills, and it's just an old infant.
So, part of the reason you choose your damn sacrifice, because the sacrifice is inevitable, but at least you get to choose it. And then there's something that's even more complex than that in some sense, is that the problem with being a child is that all you are is potential, and it's really low resolution. You could be anything, but you're not anything. Think universities facilitate.
This is very prevalent in dog culture too. So, a local example where I live in Oregon, people constantly have like these hunting dogs, the wire hair pointer, the bird dog, the sheep dog, and they run around in their lifted trucks, dipping Copenhagen and Skull, sucking down 24 packs of Coors Light all day. But they have all of these like former working breed, herding breed dogs. And they blabber on about the potential. Yeah, man, like if shit hits the fan, buddy, man, my dogs are going to feed me. They're going to herd sheep. They're going to jump in the river and capture ducks cuz we're freaking ready to go. And they have all of this perceived potential that these dogs that they own supposedly have. Like I got a boxer dog that used to be a German dog. I got myself one of these German Shepherd dogs. That's a police dog. So if the world collapses, I'm going to be taken care of. Just like in that movie that has one of those dogs in it. But in reality, these dogs are just spoiled, overweight dogs that ride around in the back of air conditioned trucks all day. It's a low resolution potential. And so you keep the dog thinking that at one of these days this dog is going to be like saving you from something, but it never does. It's just a constant expense.
Because you can go to university to not be something.
Okay, bear with me on this university example, but this does apply to dog culture as well.
Instead of going to university to be something. And it's Pleasure Island. And the price you pay for it, especially in the US, is debt. And you're enticed into it because the administrators can pick your pocket.
Yeah, dog ownership itself is just a bunch of debt. They can pick your pocket. If you own a dog, you have to get a shot. You have to get dewormer. You have to get the proper shampoo. You have to deodorize your car. You have to get the proper allergy wipes for your dog. You have to clear your dog's anal glands. You have to get the proper type of vacuum for your house when you have a dog. You have to do all of this proper stuff because you own a dog, and that just allows your pocket to be picked. Care credit veterinarian cards for single moms with through the roof debt for all kinds of stuff. You got to groom your dog. You got to buy your dog a bark box. All of this stuff that you have to buy for your dog, it just allows them to pick your pocket.
So they rob your future self while allowing you to pretend that you have an identity.
Yeah, that's dog ownership too. All these people with these dogs, like, dude, I got freaking Rottweilers. I'm a badass. Anybody messes with me. Meanwhile, you spend all this money housing your Rottweilers, taking care of your Rottweilers, and you don't need a Rottweiler to defend yourself. But you have this like, yo, I'm a tough Rottweiler or pit bull owner. You're just spending a bunch of money on these dogs that oftentimes end up killing your fellow humans too.
Right. Very nasty.
Yeah, very freaking nasty. Exactly.
And you can't declare bankruptcy with your student loans in the US. It's indentured servitude.
Yeah, you can't take all this money that you blew on your dog and be like, oh, give me a freaking refund, please. Actually, you can do that if you go claim a 501c3 and start fostering dogs. Then all your fellow taxpayers end up having to pay for your nasty dog culture habit. That's a whole separate topic.
And it's precisely Pleasure Island. It's exactly that. And so tuition fees have shot way out of control. And part of the reason that universities don't make more demands on their students and let them get away with all the things they let them get away with is because they're basically, why the hell would you chase them out? They're $100,000.
Yes, exactly the same thing with these dog owners. They get away with murder. Pit bulls, cane corsos, Rottweilers, German shepherds, even smaller breeds kill people's neighbors, kill people's kids, rip the flesh out of little kids at bus stops. But these dog owners, they just walk away scot free. The dog goes to the local pound to get a freaking rabies test, and they will not charge the dog owner. People literally get away with murder when they own dogs. They even murder their own children. People that own pit bulls murder their own toddlers and freaking get away with it. And you wonder why they get away with it? Because dog culture is a giant freaking scam for other people to take money away from you. So of course they're going to allow you to murder your fellow humans. Just like Jordan Peterson talks about with the college, they let these college kids get away with all kinds of wild and crazy, ridiculous stuff. Well, of course, because the college is a profit center, and dog culture too is a profit center.
Or more. So they can do whatever they want as long as you get to sell them to the salt mines. So
yes, dog people can do whatever they freaking want as long as they keep buying dog products, as long as they keep bending a knee to the butt kissing pit bull culture. Oh, pit bulls are just precious little nanny puppers. That's what they told me on Facebook. That's what the Ginger Billy told me on freaking YouTube. So they allow murders to keep happening with dog culture as long as they keep raking in their money. And this example from Jordan Peterson, it's been done on other YouTube channels and other write-ups, but it's so true, and so it just parallels dog culture exactly.
So then you go and you adopt it.
So yeah, have a look at this video and tell me, do you think this relates to dog culture?